All good. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Plant-Based Homestead Prepping, where we make prepping fun. This morning, we are talking about The Colony, Season 1, Episode 4. Hopefully, you guys did your homework this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Looks like we got some folks coming in the chat. Good morning, Knife Collector. Welcome. Good morning, Christina. We check the sound, make sure we got some good quality going on. Good morning, Knife Collector. Cool. Welcome. All right. So, Season 1, Episode 4 of The Colony. But before we do that, let's do a review of Season 1, Episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. Y'all say good morning to my assistant. Good morning, Tara. The Homestead Hopeful. All right, so here we go. Let's review. So, The Colony, Season 1, Episode 1. We met the cast. So we had Mike, the handyman, who was 47 years old. We had John C., who was the IBM engineer. He's in his 50s. We had Morgan. She's an engineer. She's 23 years old. Young black female, by the way. John V., machinist, and I call him our religious fanatic. We had George, who was the doctor. Allison, who is the ER nurse. We had Vladimir, who was an engineer and a fisherman, self-proclaimed fisherman hunter. We have Joey, who is a contractor and ex-convict, which is going to play a very important part in this week's review. Leilani, who is a martial artist specialist and a personal trainer. And then Amy, who is missing in action again this week, but she's a marine biologist. So for those that are new, we find out that they take them through an event of sleep deprivation. I think they kept them up, I think they said 36 hours. They give them 15 minutes of looting to go into this place to go get whatever they can. After 10 minutes, they send marauders in to steal from them what they've already stolen. They have an 8-mile walk down the LA River. The setting is California, by the way. This is a 10-week experiment. They find sanctuary. The sanctuary is a 80,000 square foot warehouse on a 3-acre plot of land. And that's what they did. We also find in Episode 1, Season 1, that we get day 1 through day 4, and then day 4 through day 6. Let's see here. Day 1 through day 4, they figured out how to flush the toilets. They came up with mealtime. They figured out how to purify water, and they welcomed some new arrivals. Let's see. They had shelter, water filtration, sleep. They figured out sleeping quarters. Working toilet, emergency lighting, which was huge, and let's see here. Okay, so that's that as far as Season 1, Episode 1. Episode 2, days 4 through day 8. Let's see here. They did power. Remember, they started producing a gasifier, and a group of the engineers were challenged by Mike. He was saying it was a bomb, and they were going to blow themselves up. We had this question a couple weeks ago. How many people knew that to make a gasifier, you had to get that gas or get that wood to produce gas at 451 degrees? So I didn't know that was something I learned. We started talking about Mike and his attitude. They went on a scavenge run. They started dealing with marauders. John C. and Vlad. What happened with John C. and Vlad? I can't remember in Episode 2. Let me see. John C. and Vlad. I can't remember how I got John C. versus Vladimir. I cannot remember what they had as far as why they got into it. All right, so they figured out how to get the generator running. They noticed how all of a sudden they started talking about leaving the location. Why did they start talking about leaving the location? We had Morgan versus Mike, okay, and she started talking to him about his watches and why was he standing the little light watches. Let me see here. And then we also discovered that Mike could fail at any other projects as many times as he needed to in order to get it accomplished, but he always had something to say about somebody else in their projects. All right, so that was Episode 2. Episode 3, which was last week, they keep mentioning security. They built a shower. We all figured that they had spent too much time on the electricity bills. Also, Joey and his water tank, he was able to pull that water tank up by himself. Leilani started making toilet paper. Morgan started drawing on the walls an account of all their experiences, that was going on. They had some news from the outside world where it really wasn't news. They had like a little squawking on the television. We also talked about who did you feel was the leader of the group. Then at the end of that episode, we had marauders to break in and steal 2 days. They stole 2 days of food from our colonists. And we found out, well, we didn't find out, they found out how important security was at that particular time. Miss Linda mentioned that in order to have a makeshift shower, if Rick goes down, to use a bug sprayer, which was an excellent idea. We talked about Food Forest last week, and we talked about, let's see here, we talked about The Farm City, which is a novel by Novella Carpenter. I think Tara brought that to the group. The Long Winter, and let's see here, Firefox book series, My Side of the Mountains. All right, so those are a few things we talked about last week. So that brings us up to this week in season 4. How many of you guys actually watched season 4 this week? How many of you guys actually watched season 4? And y'all are not chatting with me this morning. What is the hold up? What is the goings on? What is going on? Paul from Denver. Welcome, Paul from Denver. Is that my truck driving friend, Paul? Who's working on his channel at 3 o'clock in the morning like I was? Is that who that is? I hope so. So Christina said, I watched it. You know what, Tara? I watched this episode more times than I've watched. Anyway, one reason I watched this episode is because it was a good episode. This episode was so good. Hold on, we got a live caller. Hold on a second. Good morning. Welcome to Plant-Based Homestead Prepper. You are our first live caller. Good morning, caller.
Hey, good morning.
Hey man, I'm doing a live on YouTube right now. I know you didn't know.
No, I was like, man, I was gonna play through it. I want to stand you up. Come on, hit me back when you can, bro.
Okay, I will.
All right,
bye. That's my bestie. He's a subscriber, but he don't follow. All right, so let's see. Christina says she watched it. Tara says she watched it 4 times. I don't know how many times I watched this thing this week. I think I watched it 3 or 4 times on Monday, and I have forgotten how good this episode was. And I think I watched it again on Tuesday. I know I watched it again on Thursday, and then I watched it yesterday, which is Friday, and I watched it again this morning. And I got it playing in the background now. I tried to watch but fell asleep. Okay, Peggy, no problem. We're gonna cover the whole episode. So it's always great to watch it, but when you come in for the review, we do a pretty good job at reviewing. This should have been 2. Oh my God, you are so right, Night Collector. This should have been 2 shows in one: the perspective from the group and the perspective from the Marauders group. You know what? I would love to see them go and interview the Marauders so we can get that perspective. Because you got to understand, these people moved into their area, okay? And anyway, I got, and remember, this is editing for TV, okay? So we're not getting real life here, because if somebody came and took over a building in your area, how much it's either going to go one or 2 ways. Either you're going to do everything you can to kick them out, or you're going to embrace them. Okay. All right. So, and you know what? I thought, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I thought this episode, and I'm trying to keep up with the days. I know we're in day 18, but I didn't get in this episode where we were. I think we're between, and if we go normal, I want to say the first episode was day 1 through 4, and then day 4 through 8. Then the episode 2, we were at day 8. Okay, so no. Season episode 2, we were between days 4 and day 8, and then so if we keep going that way, then this will be 8 to 12. But they mentioned day 18 in this episode, so I'm getting off track with the dates, because they're not going. Okay, this is day such and such, and we're going through this day. So I've gotten off track with the day. So if anybody caught that in this episode, and I watched this episode several times, I couldn't catch it. But I really thought, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I thought this is what they should have been focusing on like 2 episodes ago. Instead of working on the gasifier and the generator and the shower, I kept mentioning, I was like, hey, for me, security would be priority. Y'all remember I kept saying that? So let's go back to chat. Let's see what we say. I'm excited about this episode. I told you guys several times this week I was really excited about talking about this episode right here. All right, so yep, watch another story. Another pause. Oh, yep, watch another pause. Sorry. Okay, no problem, Paul. Thanks for joining us. Let's see here. I did, and I collected watches. They obviously have a serious problem with their trading skills. Oh, we're gonna talk about that. We're definitely gonna talk about that. Yeah, especially Mike. His trading skills were off, no negotiation at all. He gave them everything. Yep, we're gonna talk about that. This group needed a counselor. Too many crazy people in the group. True. Right, Tara. You cannot cave when you can't cave when they start pushing for more and agree on. That's true. I would have said, okay, we will give you half our oranges max, but we're going to need you to sweeten the pot a little bit. Okay, you guys are way ahead of my notes, because let me see, that's way down here. Okay, y'all on number 7, and we haven't even really gotten to number 1 yet. So let's talk about just so you guys know what I do when I come in on Saturday morning. I watch it from start to finish again, and I go in order with my notes according to the to episode, just so you guys know. All right, so Mike was like, oranges are free. We can get more. And then I'm trying to do it in my best Mike impersonation. Well, what if they gone back and someone else had gotten the rest? That's a good point, Tara. What if they had gone back, somebody else had gotten the rest? They would have lost all the vitamin C. I thought they gave away the farm in the negotiation. I thought the first trade, I was like, okay, I think they could have gotten away with jackhammer, generator, and gas. Okay. And then they could have come out with the air compressor and gotten more stuff, Then they could have come out with, okay, we got canned goods, boom, more stuff. All right, we got oranges, more stuff. Yeah, I thought that broke down. I guess they don't understand scurvy either. Yeah, they even talk about that. I think in this, if it wasn't this episode, it was the last episode where they talked about scurvy. All right, so let's go through my notes. The belief level of how real the situation is for these volunteers. How real do you think that they believe their situation is? They're anywhere between day 8 to day 18. After watching the last episode 3, and then watching this episode this week, how real do you believe that these volunteers have convinced themselves in their mind that their situation is real? That's the first question I wanted to ask you guys this morning. Go. And I'm gonna give you. I always try to ask you guys questions, and then I give my perspective, because I don't want to sway you guys in any kind of way. I want y'all to, give me something. Let me see here. All right, so chat is a little bit behind, and I know that. So that's the first question, and then I'll give you guys 2 questions at once. So, because I know it's a time delay. They're finally taking security seriously. And then Joy made this statement of they could be attacked every night. And it made me think of something. Okay, oh man, I keep forgetting to watch. No problem, Rhonda Joy. Welcome this morning. Thank you for being here. I'm sure they don't fully believe it's real. However, they do believe the producers would only intervene so much. So if kind of real to them in many ways. I think they think is, because even the psychologist came in and she was like, when people in this situation, they take it as real life. I believe that they know they have a safety net as far as the cameras are being around, the producers are there and everything. I think they know they have a safety net, but I think it's been explained to them, hey, you got to figure this stuff out on your own. I really believe, I believe that's where it is. What do you guys think about Joey stepping up and taking charge and taking control of security? What do you guys think about that? I don't think they think it's real. They would not be letting go of food. Well, it's real. They know that if they don't produce it, they don't eat it. And that's what and like I have mixed feelings about this because you don't get the full story because of so much editing. All right, so Paul says field training exercise got very real in the Army. They got very real in the Navy too, Paul. We often got injured due to getting lost in the training. True, and I can tell you this for certain: all of the drills that we did, even though they were not, we didn't feel the missile hit the ship. We didn't feel the heat when we had the fire, but as far as everything else, it was all real. It was you had to do everything. I remember when they would announce general quarters, and I haven't been in the Navy in 20 years. General quarters, all hands man your battle stations. When you heard it and you heard that boom, 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 you instantly went into training. It was like they drilled us and trained us so much to the point where whatever you was doing, and I don't care what it was, you dropped it, and it was up starboard, down port, and you hauled butt to get to your and if you were in the way, you better get to the side, one side of the P-way or the other, because people are coming. They are rolling. Okay. All right. So field training, yep, they got real. I think Joey is great to head up security. I would have thought Vlad, originally, but he doesn't seem to be ready to step up into a leadership role. I really thought Vlad would have stepped up too, to be honest with you, Tara. I really thought that the two people that would have been the security folks would have been Joey and Vladimir. I thought also, and I understand, I totally understand. I get why Joey, oh God, I'm skipping ahead. Anyway, I get why Joey went out with Mike. But I thought a better choice, look and see, of course, we get the backstory, we get to see the whole episode, and then we can think about it. I think especially now, I think a better negotiator. But see, you gotta understand, they didn't have any warning when those folks pulled up. It was like right then, drop what you're doing. We got people at our door, banging on our door. I understand why he took Mike. Okay, Mike's not so much big, but Mike is tall. He's intimidating as far as his size is concerned, and he's got the attitude that you need if you're going to be in a fist fight, or if you're going to be in a fight. Period. So I understand why he did that. I think looking back on it, I think a better negotiator would have been Leilani, because she's level-headed all the time. Except later on, we find out Mike upset her, and she was anyway. Okay, so Joey made this statement that we could be attacked every night. And I know from experience, the best way to take down somebody's defenses over a period of time, sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation. And if it were me, what I would do, if I was on the outside looking in, if I was on the outside and I was a marauder, every single night, you know, when I see the lights go out, that's another thing. We keep talking about these lights. Every single night when I see the lights go out, I would start just throwing rocks against. I mean, you got to understand, they're in a metal building. They're going to hit everything. I would sit on the outside of the gates and just start throwing rocks and hitting the side of the building, because you know somebody's on security watch, and that person's going to freak out, and they're going to wake everybody up. And when it quieted down after 45 minutes or whatever, I would do it again. I would keep their butts up all night long. And I would do that for 2 or 3 weeks. That's just me, though. Okay. I think Joe is great. The head of security. Okay, you said that we covered that. They didn't learn the lesson. If someone is attacking one direction, you watch the other direction. True. When the traders were out front, everyone trying to watch and not being placed around. You know what, Night Collector? That is a great. That's a great point, because you're right. They didn't learn, because when the Marauders came and attacked, they attacked in the front where they made explosion noise in the front. Everybody's attention went that way, and somebody snuck in the back. They didn't put any kind of protocols together, which great point. And I hadn't even thought about that, to be honest with you. Looking back at it, what they should do from here on out, the group should be split up. They should have some kind of standard operating procedure. Hey, the next time we get a potential threat or attack or whatever, Vlad, you and John V and John C, you go over here. Leilani, you and well, I wouldn't want to split them up like that, but y'all know what I'm saying, right? Leilani, you and John C, y'all go here. Vlad, you and Allison, y'all go over there. George and such, you go over here. At least that way you're protecting, the four corners of the warehouse. I mean, which is huge. But great point, Knife Collector. You're right, Knife Collector. The trader could have been a distraction, so Raiders could enter from behind. Yep. I mean, I totally agree with that, Knife Collector. That's amazing. And that's why this is so good every Saturday, because if something ever happens, we can learn from what these people have done, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that's one thing right there. Next time, I'm like, okay, well, next time we have a distraction somewhere else, boom. Folks got to be moving. But great point, Night Collector. Thank you for making it here. All right, so Joey steps up as the foreman on security. And they go, and this episode is all about security, but I really believe if they had been doing this the whole entire time, they wouldn't be surprised about so much stuff. Now they did say this on day 18. Do y'all hear me? Not day 1, not day 7, not day 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, or 15. Not day 16, which is 2 weeks, 2 days into this. Not day 17, but on day 18. Did y'all know what they discovered? Did y'all remember what they discovered on day 18? Which I think is ridiculous, because if you had security in check from the get-go, they would not have discovered the room that was above the little scaffold thing on day 18. Day 18. I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. And especially if you got somebody walking around all night long, every night. You mean to tell me that 10 people doing watches with flashlights all the time, for at least, 12 hours from overnight to the morning? You mean to tell me that 10 people walk around this warehouse did not notice a secret room for 18 days? What in the world is wrong with these people? Okay, so that right there in itself just showed me that I don't want to call them crazy, but you know what? And I know it's taking a while for the chat to catch up with me, but I just thought that was crazy to me. It was, anyway. That's my thoughts. What say you? Why is the chat so long? Okay, think Joe is great, blah, blah, blah. You're right, man, Collector. Okay, yeah, that was crazy. And they found the alcohol and just drank it. Yeah, I thought it would have been great to keep. I'm not in that situation. I really thought they should have put that as a medical supply, in my opinion. Paul said the room would have been a great place to hide food. Yeah, and hard to get to. And that's what you want. You want things that are great for you to get to and hard for somebody else to get to. I guess my chat over here just completely stopped. Yeah, I don't have any more chat anymore. Okay. Oh, well, I'll come over there with you guys. All right, so Paul said, yep, a great place to hide. Brother, why do you think trees are so effective for hiding? Because no one tends to look up. That's true, Christina. Wow. I would have made the room, the sleeping quarters, is safer and closed, gives you high ground if people invade, and you could have a ladder that could pull up once everyone is up there. I can see that. However, okay, I think a lot like Christine. I can see that, Tara. However, I don't want to defend, and this is just me. I don't want to defend from where I'm living. Okay. And I never want to box myself into a corner. And to me, that's just like, because at that point in time, we can starve you to death. You can't do anything. And 10 people in that little room or 9 people. You got one person on watch, and you got 9 people down there. If anything happens as far as an emergency, and you guys got to defend the grounds, it's going to take a long time for people to get down there in a hurry. Somebody could potentially fall. So I see more knots in that situation than I do. I see more no's in that situation than I do yeses. And this is just me personally. I personally wouldn't make it the sleeping quarters. And I have always said I thought they should have their sleeping quarters out there where the doors and the windows and everything else is. I've always said that, and I stick by that, because it seems like to me they're sleeping somewhere that's like secluded anyway. It's just not high up. So that's my personal opinion. Does anybody else have a different opinion about that room that they found? All right, we think a lot, Christina. I agree with Tara. Big love. If you had 2 people on watch, though, they could come around behind the attackers and you'd have them surrounded. But you can have ropes and watchmen and trip lines and triple lines. Yeah, I mean, it's a whole bunch you could do. But do you want? This is the question I have for you all. Do you want to be defending from the inside, or do you want to be defending from the inside where the attacker is outside, or do you want to be defending from the inside where you're sleeping? That's all I'm saying. Let's see. I'd rather be hidden. If raiders make it inside while I was sleeping, they might come in and never even realize you were there, just like the colonists didn't see the room for a long time. Hey, Crystal. Hi, Miss Crystal. Good to see you. I want to be hard to get with a vantage point. Oh, I mean, I can see you guys' point. However, I just to me that's it's not the greatest of ideas, okay? Because at that point in time, what if the Marauders come in and they set up shop just like you did? Okay, and that room up there was just a room. It wasn't like it had bathrooms. It wasn't like it had food. I mean, you could take food up there, but how are you going to use the bathroom? If you got, let's just say you got 5 or 6 people up there sleeping at a time, and the other 5 get killed, it's only a matter of time before the 5 upstairs get noticed. You can only sit still and be quiet for how long, And what if the Marauders come into that building? They've already taken over. So that's my point. Does anybody else agree with Tara and Christina, or do you see a different point? All right, so let's see. Same Christina. Then you wait until they go to sleep and attack them all silently. Okay, I can see that. They should not sleep face to face. The military is always head to foot, so people don't spread flu and viruses. They should split sleeping quarters in about 3. Yeah, I see. Paul has that military background like I do, and I think they should be sleeping in shifts anyway. We used to call it hot racking in the Navy, so that you can have 24-hour production. But depends on the individual fighting or combat skills. But Paul, great point as far as sleeping head to foot. That's a great point. Yes. So you don't be spreading all kind of stuff while you sleeping. Yeah, and they shouldn't all be sleeping in the same quarters anyway. And that place should be cleaned every day and sanitized where people are sleeping, because it's going to be nasty. All right, so let's move on from this security room. All right, let's see here. John, what do you guys think about John making this flamethrower and then eventually this stun gun? What are y'all thoughts about John making this flamethrower and this stun gun? I don't want to be in a place I can't get out of. If you can't retreat when you are losing, you will die. Great point, Knife Collector. And that's my point. That's my point exactly. I don't want to defend where I'm sleeping. Okay, if you're having to defend where you're sleeping, you've already lost the battle. You got at that point in time, it's got to be a retreat. And also, if you're outnumbered, it would be worse. If not, you could have one colonist on each marauder and slit their throats while they sleep. But what if those marauders, um, what if they're sleeping in shifts? What if it's 20 of them? What if it's 30 of them? And they're like, okay, well, 15 are going to go to sleep, 5 are going to be on watch. You know, and you got to understand this place is huge, and even though it's huge, at nighttime when everything is quiet, any movement is going to be heard. You know, because we don't know how many marauders are out there. We don't know how many people have band together to take over. Okay, the sanctuary. You have an attack in unison, so none of them woke up and altered the others. These people can't even. They couldn't even get up in the room without all of them helping one person get up there. Why would you want a flamethrower? All right, that's a good point, Peggy. Why would anybody want a flamethrower at this point in time? A flamethrower would be a heck of a deterrent. Most people wouldn't even try to get past one, I would guess, especially since they don't have guns. Yeah, I mean, when you're dealing with security, you want to reach out. Well, in my opinion, you want to be able to reach out as far as you can to defend. Okay, and if you notice with their warehouse, so let's just say I'm gonna draw a little picture for you guys. So let's say this is their warehouse right here. Can y'all see that? All right, and this thing is 80,000 square feet. Now we know for a fact, because when the traders came, we know for a fact that one side, okay, and I'm assuming, because I haven't really seen a perimeter of it. They've shown it a couple times, but I didn't really take it notes. We know that at least one side is accessible via the street, because the traders came and banged, and they came out this little window right here. Okay, they came out this window, and they were talking to the traders. Let me try to draw you guys a little truck here. All right, so this window right here, they came out and they were talking to the traders. So we know that one side has access where you can talk, okay, to whomever. And later on, you're going to see something that's going to be important here as well. So we know that at least one side comes out like this, and we know that there's a front and there's a gate. They kind of slide. I'm gonna draw a little slide, opening door, but we know that gate slides. All right, so it's out here somewhere, and then this is like the front of the sanctuary, right about here. And they got all this stuff out here. My hopes is that the fence line continues like this and then goes out like that and like that. I don't know, because the fence line might come right here. Okay. Now, if this is the case, when the marauders came out here and they made this bang in the front, some kind of way, and this is a roof, okay? So this is not drawn to scale, just so y'all know. But the marauders came back in here some kind of way and entered in and got into their food pantry. So in this episode, we know that Joy made this pretty much, you can't get through it, all right? So the best case scenario is they have all of this. The second best case scenario is they have this right here. All right. So in defense, you want to be able to defend out here and then work your way back. All right. Because the more deterrent you have out here, the harder it is for somebody to get in. Well, once they get right here, guess what? They're at your front door. And this is the same thing for your house. Okay. Same thing for your house. If you're having to defend right here at your front door, they're already there. You want to be able to set up defenses out here. And for my military guys, you guys let me know if I'm right or wrong or indifferent. Y'all help me out. All right, the flamethrower gives you a moment. Okay, so let me catch up with chat here. All right, especially okay, they don't have guns. I always forget to do this. I like the shot rod too. Another distant weapon, and if the electricity was gone, it could be just a pole arm. Yeah, I mean, it's a great weapon. Flamethrower gives you a moment to pause. Nothing living wants to be burned. Very true, Paul. Nothing living wants to be burned. All right, to me, the taser would be rather useless in real life. It would hurt, but yeah, it's not going to incapacitate. I think it's going to be more of a deterrent, But then again, think about it, guys. If you're having to use this, I don't know, 6 foot long taser, that means you're fighting right here. We're in hand-to-hand combat now. I don't want to defend like that. I want to defend out here. I really thought, and this is just me, I thought they should have been doing, they're in a warehouse. They got to have plenty of boards, screws, nuts, all that kind of stuff. I thought that they should be focusing. Okay, yeah, all this is great what they're doing in here, but when John is not building a flamethrower, when Vlad is not making a claymore, and you got Leilani and all the girls pretty much working on a gym. I think a better use of manpower would be being out here securing this area. Okay, because you can always look nails hammered into a board. Listen to this: nails hammered into a board are not a deterrent. That will take a vehicle out, and that will definitely take your feet out. I felt like they should be doing things not even out here. I think they should be doing stuff. This is where I want to be defending. Because one thing you got to understand, they got all these broken down cars, right? I think they should be defending out here. You could take all those broken down cars, the way they pushed that truck inside, they could push all these cars and forklifts and everything else out here. They could push stuff. And let's just say that the building is like this. They could push cars out here. They got plenty of pallets, even though they're burning stuff. They got plenty of stuff that they could use to make a wall, a fortress. And I'm gonna draw it out for you. Okay. Because I'm gonna show you what the way my thinking is. To me, this right here is too close. If it was me, I'm trying to make a perimeter all the way out here so that if you get here, I'm panicking. Okay, this is when you get here, this is when you're gonna have the boards, the nails, the claymores, or whatever else. I want to defend out. I want to start my defense out here. And for anybody that disagrees, I would love to hear your point of view. Because once the threat gets here, they're at your doorstep, okay? And that's just me right there. All right, let's see here. Yes, and the flamethrower would be a distraction if nothing else. I think that's all it's going to be. But they are kind of limited to non-lethal since it's a TV show. We're going to find out in season 3. It's not going to be so non-lethal anymore. That's why they canceled the show, because they actually killed somebody. As real as it feels, I'm sure they still realize they can't hurt anyone on the show. I think you guys are still looking at it like these people believe they're on a TV show. I think these colonists are in more reality than we seem to understand. That's just my opinion, though. All right. Whatever happens to the slingshot Amy was trying to make? I don't know. I guess it got shut down because she was using some power. When she got yelled at by Mike for using power tools, we never heard anything. I think they all should be carrying slingshots with them at all times, with rocks and pebbles and everything, stones. And I think that should be just everyday carry at this point. I think everybody needs to have slingshots. And they should be carrying around some kind of club, a walking cane. All right, those attackers should never have breached the warehouse. Keep them out of the attack from the roof and rain hell down. I was thinking about that too. Let's see, all this stuff that they're making. Okay, so and I was thinking about. I'm glad you brought that up, Paul. I was thinking about this because what I want to do, I want to defend from out here. All right, and as soon as something happens and we hear them moving cars and all this kind of stuff trying to get here. Everybody needs to have their own set of perimeters out here. Molotov cocktails, stuff like that. When you can throw and defend, that's almost that. You talk about a deterrent? Oh yeah, no. And they have things where they can make fire, right? Why not set up something out here where if you see an attack, I mean, these people are smart, right? Why not? If you see something coming out here, you can light something and make a fire all the way around here. It protects you and it keeps them out. Who wants to deal with a fire? Just like somebody said a while ago, nothing living wants to be burned. So that's my point right there. I think they're thinking defense as far as defending the warehouse. No, you need to defend the perimeter of the warehouse. The warehouse are good for their trips out of the compound. Though. Yeah, I agree with that. Not the ones that require gas and electricity, of course. Yeah. I agree with your defense plan, but the people are too lame for something that complex. Oh goodness, with all that heavy metal and stuff around here have around, why don't you make deadfall traps and scrap metal? They could. Oh, Paul said something else. So in my plan, I want to defend out here, and then as we come back and we defend it, I think they should have thought about putting something on the roof that they could throw. I mean, because from a roof throwing out here in the yard, oh my God, you'd really be damaging something. I just think that their defense plan is too close to home for me. That's my whole point. All right, so let's see here. They have gas for the flamethrower. With what they have, but what they could make potato guns, so to speak, 100-yard range easily. Really, be more specific on that knife collector. And I can't look up. Hold on, let me look up. You said potato gun. I'm gonna look that up right now because I'm unfamiliar with that. And 100-yard range, that's 300 feet. That's awesome as far as defense. Potato gun. All right, let's see what a potato gun is. Otherwise known as a potato cannon, sometimes known as a spud gun, not to be confused with a toy of the same name, is a pipe-based cannon which uses air pressure, pneumatic, and combustion of flammable gas, aerosol propane, to launch projectiles at high speed. Wow. Okay. I like that, knife collector. Tara says potato guns are illegal in a lot of places. Yeah, but if it's grid down and WRL, hey, what's legal and illegal? Soon guns are gonna be illegal in Virginia. Did y'all hear about that? I have to do a whole show about that one. And they give away the air compressor in the they give away the air compressor in the trading. They did. So, all right, we talked about defense. We talked about security. All right, so all right, we talked about the flamethrower and John and his stun gun. All right, so what do you guys think about Vlad and his Claymore mine? I thought it was a great idea. To be honest with you, that's another deterrent. However, I think the Claymore mine should be out here, right behind the perimeter. I think the Claymore, if you're gonna do Claymore mines, I think they should be right here where I put the CLs, and they should be in this little thing. Because if I'm trying to attack somebody and I see they have defenses out here, and then when I get through this defense I get right here, I'm like, you know what? Let's just go pick on the people down the road because this is too hard. And that's all defense is. You just want to make every layer just harder to penetrate, in my opinion. All right, I wonder if the producer specifically told them non-lethal only because it might be a liability teaching people to make the. I mean, it could be, and that's why I keep saying we're not getting the full story because of the editing, because it's a show. Claymores would be perfect as an alarm system. Yep. But he had to manually operate the heat to get them the blow. Yeah, he did. In this episode, that's the only way he could do it. So, yeah, I agree. Because out here, my defenses keep going further out. Out here, that's where, I want to be notified that you're coming. And then here, I want to have a barrier that you have to get through. Can y'all see? Okay, out here, this is what I want to be notified. Out here, this is where I want you have to go through a barrier. Hopefully, by me being notified and I'm up here, it's just like if I have a farm, I want to be notified that you're coming out here, so it gives me time to get my defenses prepared. Right here, this is where I want to defend. I want to be able to take my shots out here at you, okay? And think about it like this. Let's just say that this is all they have, Ram. I want people stationed at this window. I want people stationed here, where at least one person here, because that's easy to defend unless they drive there. If they drive a truck through there, ain't nothing you can do about that. But at this window, seems like easy defense. Okay, you can rain rocks down. You can rain fire here. I mean, if you have a back window back here, same thing over here. Okay, and I'm assuming that these are all streets. Okay, and then out here, this is where I want to defend. All this doggone we setting stuff up in here. No, that's too close to home. Oh gosh, everybody's calling me this morning. All right, so let's see here. They gave with an air compressor. I wonder if the producer, yep, Claymores would be perfect. Yep. Too bad they don't have a big dog or two as alarm systems and deterrent. All right, you want to force them into a kill zone and finish them from the root. Paul, that's what I totally agree with. Yes, because if you can force them, if they break through here and they get through your gate and they come in here, bam, raining rocks down. I mean, that's medieval right there. People were stoned to death back in the day all the time. That's nothing. I mean, and for them to if they can put a shower up on the roof, they can take 400, 500, 600 pounds of rocks up there. Okay, and slingshots. You can you imagine all 10 of them shooting at or let's say 5 of them up on the roof shooting their slingshots down at somebody. Do you know how much projectile motion that would be, and how much velocity you would get from coming up here down on somebody down in here? Man, they'd be like, you know what? We got our butts handed to us in this fight. We are not coming back to the colony. Y'all are safe. Y'all are good. Okay, until they amass a bigger force. So, all right, there we go. Yep. So we caught up on chat. I told y'all this was gonna be a good one. Didn't I tell y'all this is gonna be a great discussion? Okay, so we got let's talk about Leilani in this gym. What are you guys' thoughts on Leilani building this gym? And I want to hear y'all's thoughts first before I even start commenting on it. What are your thoughts on Leilani in the gym? And then we're going to start talking. After that, we're going to talk about the traders coming to trade, which you guys have already hinted on it. And then we're going to talk about Leilani and Mike in the blow up at dinner. All right? And then we're going to close it out with the truck build. So, all right, what you guys think about Leilani and the gym? That's the next topic. Leilani and the gym. How far behind am I on this? See here. Oh, y'all make sure y'all hit the like button for me, okay? Please, sir. Please, ma'am. Let's see how far I'm at. Oh, y'all make sure y'all hit the like button for me. Not that far. All right, so let's see here. Tara says, I think the gym was a good idea because they clearly have a lot of aggression to get out. And some of them need to learn hand to hand for their trips out of the compound. Totally agree with you. Totally agree. And apparently the foreman of the job agreed because not only did Joey co-sign the gym bill, he actually helped build the gym. Okay. And if you guys notice, once he secured that back door where the Marauders came in and stole their food, he was in the gym helping them build the gym. All right. So I totally agree with you on that one. I think the gym was a great idea. I think the gym was necessary. However, I think they spent too much time in the gym. Okay, I really believe that, and I'm saying that because there were so many other things that they could have spent. They could have invested time in. Okay, like getting even if they didn't do anything but just secure the gate area. Okay, you had a whole bunch. In my opinion, you have a whole bunch of people. And somebody brought this up last week. Got a whole bunch of people just standing around, not really doing a whole bunch. Whole bunch of folks standing around, not doing a whole lot. So that's where I am. Let's see here. Paul says, I love strong women that can handle their own. Excellent idea. Yes, I totally agree with all that. I think Mike was just bitter because he generally sees women as useless. Therefore, the gym would be useless. All right, so that brings us to our next point. If Mike, because he kept saying he's like, I think you've been watching too many movies. She was like, no, you've been watching too many movies. Do you want to go to the gym and see how good the gym is? But Mike didn't take her up on that offer, did he? How many people think that in a fight, how many people believe in a fight right now in this episode that Leilani would have won a fight between Mike, or Mike would have won? I'm talking about just straight up fist fight, fighting toward each other. No weapons involved. How many people think that Leilani would take Mike at this point, or how many people think that Mike would take Leilani? And then I'm gonna cast the final vote. Martial arts takes a long time to learn. It's a good distraction, but they are not focused on things that matter. Knife collector, I agree. I think the gym was an excellent idea. I think it was necessary. I think you need to limit yourself to how much time you spend in the gym, because there's so many other things that need to be done. Like if everybody doesn't have a slingshot right now, I believe that everybody should be making a slingshot. And I think they should have not only one, but they need to have 3. One for your person, one that you can carry as a backup, and then one as a backup to the backup. Because remember, when we're prepping, 1 is none, 2 is 1. Remember that, folks. Leilani would not Mike out. Okay, so that all right. So we're voting right now. We are voting right now. So we got Leilani versus Mike. So we got 1 vote for Leilani. I think Leilani will win because she's trained, and 2 because he'd be reluctant to hurt her. Okay, so we got 2 votes for Leilani. Put that up on the screen. Bam. All right. I need everybody to vote too, by the way. He doesn't seem to respect women much, but he also doesn't seem like he want to hurt unless it was in a real fight, meaning the question on the table is straight up fight. Leilani versus Mike. Who's gonna win? All right, so I got 2 votes for Leilani, 1 vote for Mike. And the chat is slow, so I'm gonna go over here and see what you guys are saying. All right. He doesn't seem to respect. Okay, so we've caught up. All right, so everybody else is not gonna vote. Okay, so we got 2 votes for Leilani, 1 vote for Mike. I'm kind of mixing this decision. Okay. And I'm gonna say this because once I say this, you guys are gonna be like, "Oh, that's a great point." Nice character says, "Hard to say. Mike doesn't seem like a fighter with an experience, and I have not seen Leilani hasn't shown any skills other than beating on the bag. I would go with Mike. If I had to cast a vote right now, I'm going to go with Mike, simply because 1, he's a man. Okay, and I'm not trying to be male chauvinist, and I'm not trying to say men are stronger, all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to say because of the line of work that he does. I know one thing that Mike, because I have very strong hands. My wife, and Jennifer's strong, but with my hands, she can grab like 2 of my fingers, and if I crunch them down, she can't move them. Okay. Men who work with their hands are naturally just strong, okay? Naturally strong. And I'm going to go with Mike in this instance. I almost went with Leilani because of her training, but all Mike is going to have to do is just get close enough to grab her, okay? Because once he grabs her, it's going to be over. So I'm going to have to cast my vote for Mike. And when I make this point, hopefully you guys will see it more clearly. I vote Mike because when the traders came, Joey himself said, if I'm going to be in a brawl or if I'm going to be in the trenches, I want Mike. Okay, I want Mike. He didn't say I want Vlad. He didn't say I want Leilani. He said I want Mike. And because of that statement right there, that's the only reason that's not the only reason, but that's the number 1 reason why I'm gonna cast my vote for Mike. All right. All right, so let me see. Hard to say. Mike doesn't be a fighter. Blah blah blah. And Tara says, "I'm sorry, Night Collector. I wasn't trying to slight you. Okay, there we go." And Tara says he seems kind of slow and stupid though. Leilani looks like she will be quick. She could quickly get him in a headlock and strangle him. I mean, that's true, and there's no wrong answer here. And later on, you're gonna find out about Leilani and her skills later on. Keep watching. So, but I cast my vote for Mike, just for those couple of reasons right there. If she knows anything about Keto, she could use his body weight against him too. Smaller defenders can easily take down large attacks with Keto. Oh, you're gonna find out Mike is out of shape and Leilani knows where to hit and how to hit and kick. 3 tours in Korea. I took martial arts instead of physical training. It works. Okay, Paul, who you voting for? Because you can break this tie right now. Who and everybody? I don't think everybody else has voted. So I got 2 for Leilani and I got 2 for Mike. So the next vote is going Cass is going to break the tie, and that's what we're gonna go with. Whomever wins, we're just gonna say that's who's gonna win the fight. All right. All right. Let's see here. Did he? Okay. So one of your votes was for Leilani. Oh, okay. I apologize, Paul. I wasn't keeping up with who voted and how. I'm sorry. So that's my fault. So it's going to be a tie then. Okay. All right. So we're tied in the fist fight between Leilani and Mike. No problem. All right. So when the traders came to trade the goods, I know this is the hot topic you guys wanted to talk about in the beginning. So when the traders came, if you notice, they were all working. They were all doing security stuff, right? So when the traders came, I love the guy that they sent in. He's like, no, we can make good business. We're not here for a fight. We want to make good business. I loved his accent, and I loved his like, hey, we're just trying to do business. I loved that. So I thought they picked the perfect person to come in. Did y'all notice the old beat down truck that they were in? I think that's the way it's going to be if anything ever happens. I think people are going to refurbish, not even refurbish. They're going to get old stuff to be working. And I think that's the way it's going to be. And I think traders will have to ride around with 50 cows on top of their truck. They'll have them mounted. I think that's the way it's going to be. Okay, I think it's going to be an old truck with old men out trying to do trade. All right. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, like she said, he reminds you of Alaskan Prepper's son when he does his Victor character. Oh wow, I thought it was funny too because tensions got really high during that trade agreement or trade sanction or whatever they were trying to do, and it even got to the point where Leilani was like, "Listen, do not disrespect me anymore." Blah blah blah. And she got in Joey's face, and Joey he's like, "I apologize." So I love the way Leilani stood up, even though it was a potential hazardous event going on outside. I love the way she took charge, and she was like, "No, you're not gonna disrespect me. All this yelling and all this silly stuff is not gonna happen." And he had the steampunk glass. I don't know what that is, but did you guys notice how Joey was like, "I'm working with these idiots in here"? He's like, "Yeah, I work with these idiots every day. I got 2 of them." Yeah, I think that guy. I think he is going to be the way traders are going to be after SHTF happens. I think that's the kind of personality it's going to take because people are going to be on edge, and his people were very on edge. I mean, and I don't know if they probably weren't real guns, but the colonists didn't know that. And remember, they keep saying that the colonists don't know that basically the other actors are instructed not to hurt them. They don't know that. They're thinking these are. I'm gonna tell you why they think it's real. They think this stuff is real because real emotions are coming out. Because if they didn't think it was real, they just go out there and be like, "Okay, we're gonna give you the compressor. We're gonna take the compressor from you, and we're gonna give you the jackhammer." These people are living this. This has been their lives for like 18, 20 days now. So in their minds, this stuff is real. This is as real as it gets. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you guys this from experience. Once you go on a water fast and you get to day 4, day 5, that water fast gets real to you. That's your life. That's the way it is. And to get to the point, and say that's the closest thing I can relate to SHTF or WRL or whatever, because I've been without food for 43 days. So after that, that it gets real to you. So even though I know they know the cameras are around, I know that they know that they're living in this scenario, and in the back of their mind they're like, okay, I'm gonna be able to go home in 10 weeks. How long is 10 weeks, y'all? 10 weeks is a long time. Think about it. 10 weeks. We're not talking about 10 days. We're talking about 10 weeks. That's like 70 days. They're on day 18. Okay. Just keep that in you guys' minds as you're watching. Leilani reminds me of my ex-wife. She was Army too. Beautiful, feminine woman that would kick your butt if she had to. Yeah, I love Leilani. I absolutely love her. I love all the women. I love Morgan because Morgan stood up to Mike. Um, Allison's more. I mean, please don't take this offense, lady. Allison's more the girly girl of the group, because she's making dresses and she's talking about getting showers and shampoo, and she's the girly girl of the group. Amy, I think Amy's missing in action again this week. I don't know if she has some kind of special contract where she can come in one week, make a fish trap, and then go home for 3 or 4 days and then come back. Because Amy just disappears on me. I believe it's more like they're playing a game and don't want to lose. For me, I would constantly be thinking that millions of people would be watching me, and I would not want to appear useless. That's a good point. Okay. And I've never seen anything where they had like a the colony reunion. I've never seen that, so we don't get the real story. The guy with the AK-47 was the only one with the right attitude. Everything is a threat. I agree with you, Night Collector, and you have to be ready to do what needs to be done. He didn't like new people coming into the situation. He sure didn't. He meant business. Soon the other folks start coming out, and I also like the fact that the negotiator, the trader, he was like a foreigner coming in, and they spoke their native tongue, their native language. He's like, we couldn't understand what he was saying, but he was talking to his guys, and we don't know if those guys actually spoke English. We don't know if the editors and the producers were like, hey, when these folks come out, pull the gun on. We don't know all that, but I do know. You can see the people's reactions. And when you get a gun put on you in a situation like that, you don't know if it's real or not. You don't care if it's real or not. You like, because Joe was like, no, hey, no guns. I'm just gonna have. I thought that was a bad move for Joey to pull so many people out. I really thought he should have pulled whomever was cooking the food. The two people that cooked the food the most, I think he should have brought those folks out. For me, that's where the emotion would come in, not just for survival, but to save face. I'm not sure if these people are worrying about saving face at this point in time, because they, remember in episode 3, Morgan was like, golly, she put a deodorant on. She's like, at least something smells good. Even the reality TV shows, people tend to forget about. I think you get used to it after a while, and I think you don't even see them anymore. It probably becomes more annoying than anything. I'm a girl big time, but I'm pretty tough. I was in a fight with a girl that was trying to mess with my boyfriend, now my husband, and I tore her apart, laugh out loud. Well, we know who we want in the trenches with us if something goes down. All right, so that's do you guys think that Joey made a mistake when he brought so many people out for negotiation? I think he did. I think he should have brought out whoever the two people that cooked the most. Where it was Vlad. I think he should have brought out Vladimir, and I think Allison does a lot of cooking. I think he should have brought those two out only. I think Mike made a huge, crucial error in going in and giving away all of their oranges. Okay, and I also looked at it this way too. We don't know how. I think they got those oranges on like day 5 through 8. Here it is, day 18. So really, how many oranges were starting to go bad? Okay, and so that's my take on it. I thought it was a mistake though. I thought it was a mistake giving away so much stuff. I did think it was good getting the chicken. Because remember, they have two goats. They one they can milk. Now they have a chicken. Okay, so hopefully here in the next week that chicken will start producing eggs. Because chickens, I don't know anybody who's been around chickens. Chickens don't like to be moved around a whole bunch when they're laying. So it's gonna take that chicken a little bit to start laying, if they can get that chicken some protein. All right, so I also stood up to a grown man who were beating their women before, and they backed down. Most men who abuse women, they don't like anybody to stand up to them. But good for you. Good for you, Tara. That is amazing. Good for you, Homestead Hopeful. Yeah, I mean, I think that's remarkable. All right, so Nicolette says, totally. Those in charge of their area of work should decide what they need. I think he brought too many people out. I think that's where the negotiation started going south for them. I thought that they gave away too much for the generator because you got a brand new in the box working jackhammer. That should have been enough for the generator and the gas. If they were going to give away the compressor, which I don't know if I would have, because anyway, I thought they could have figured out better ways to use air. But if you're going to give away the compressor, I think you should have done the compressor for something else big, or a whole bunch of little things. The jackhammer and the compressor, even though they saw them as not valuable, the traders saw them as valuable. And remember, perception is reality to he whom perceives. So because he saw value in it and they didn't, I think they got the short end of the stick, in my opinion. Asking for a friend. All right, I'm beginning to think that Mike is a plant, like the producers put him in there deliberately to cause problems to see how others would react. But they made him useful so others wouldn't turn. I think, you know what, honestly, Tara, I think you're going to have somebody like that in your group anyway. I think you're always going to have a negative naysayer in the group anyway, period. Even if and I got 5 people on here right now, even if we were in a group, somebody's going to be the most positive. Most people are going to be kind of neutral, and you're going to have one that's going to be the negative Nancy. That's in every group. I don't think he's a plant. I think that they chose people because of their backgrounds, and I think they chose people. Yeah, I can't say he's a plant because he's going through everything everybody else is going through. So, in my opinion, because he's such a hothead and he seems way too useless in trading. I mean, even a 5-year-old could negotiate a better trade than that. You know what? And under the circumstances, I'm not sure. Tara, and even the folks that were inside, they even said, hey, we put Joy in charge of security. This is a security event, so Joy's in charge. We got to go with it. And that's what happened. Joy said, I'm taking the lead on security. And had anybody else stepped up and said, I mean, because you're noticing that episode that I think it was Vlad talking, and Joy's like, look, there's too many numbers going on. There's too much BS going on. I'm taking the lead of this. Y'all can sit around and talk about it all day if you want to. We need to get some stuff done. And I like that attitude about Joy. I just think they had some bad negotiations. That's all. Joy and Mike failed. Gave away 167 oranges and that large canned tuna. They risked their lives getting oranges and water. Yeah, I agree with you, Paul. They gave away way and I think they gave away way too much in the first negotiation for the generator, and I think they gave away way too much in the second negotiation. And then think about it like this: if you give away everything now, a week from now, 2 weeks from now, when somebody different comes back through, or they come back through, what are you gonna have to trade? What are you going to have to trade? Because you got to be thinking long term as well. Because this is day 18, day 20. They still got like 60 days to go. Well, let's 50 more days to go. So, yeah, I think the trade failed. So did we already talk about the blow up between? Yeah, we already talked about Leilani and Mike. We already agreed it was split down the middle of Leilani and Mike as far as a fight. Okay, so what do you guys think about Mike getting that truck running? What do you think about Mike getting the truck running? And he always says, the big dumb monkey. All right, so let's see here. What are you guys saying? Tara says, with only 5 gallons of gas, the generator isn't that big of a score anyway. I didn't think so. I didn't, and you know what? And with the gasifier that they had, I really don't understand why they were harping on that generator in the first place. Okay. Paul said, my thing is so slow over here. Okay. Paul says, producers always want the full range of personality types. Life is like that. It makes the show fun to watch. Yeah, I mean, you got to understand this is a TV show first and foremost. And if they had everybody in there that agreed all the time, we wouldn't have gotten to season 1, episode 4. We would have stopped at episode 2. I would have given them episode 1, and when I say I got to episode 2, I was like, these people are stupid. They just agree on everything. So yeah, I think they got a wide range of. I agree with Paul. I think they got a wide range of personality. I think they got a wide range of talent, and I think they got a really good group of people. Okay, maybe if they could trade for more fuel later, yeah, they're gonna have to trade for more fuel later. They will have to. They only have 5 gallons. As far as trading, they do not understand what a trader does. You tell him what you want. He trades someone else for it and trades it to you. Barter is the name of the game. Yes, and you always try to get as much as you can for giving away as least as possible. Okay, so for a prime example, if I got this bottle of water right here, right now, you guys probably don't want to trade this bottle of water for anything. But after not drinking for 2 days, I can pretty much get anything in the world from you I wanted for this bottle of water. And that's just a half a bottle of water. So a lot of times, and sometimes it's best to wait. I didn't think they had to do all those trades right then, but that's me. And then again, I have a strong sales background. I've been selling my whole life, and I made my living for 12 years in sales, and that's all trading is. It's just a sales transaction. Okay, so good point, Night Collector. They should have given him a list of what they really wanted and asked him to come back later. That's true. Very true. So I agree with Night Collector on this one. All right, guys. Do you guys have anything else? We've gone over an hour already. It is getting chilly. We've gone over an hour already. This was hands down my favorite episode out of the previous 3 that we had seen. Hands down my favorite. How do you guys rank this episode as far as episode 1, 2, 3, and 4? How does this one rate and rank for you? What say you about that question? And then what were some of the things that you learned? We're gonna end it on those 2 questions. How do you rate this episode? And then what were some of the things that you learned from this episode, this particular episode right here? All right, let's see here. What are you guys saying? Mike is so useful. You can't get rid of him. You have to control him. He does good work. His skills are vital to survive in a situation like that. And I think that's the point he was trying to make to Leilani. The gym is fine. The gym is great. He has communication error all the time. Mike is not a great communicator. I think Mike is a great guy. I would love, in real life, I would love to know a Mike. Matter of fact, I do know a Mike. His name is not Mike, but I know someone just like Mike where he can fix anything, he can figure anything, extremely smart, but communication skills, he's so abrasive and so abrupt that communication skills just rub you the wrong way. But you just got to understand that's just Mike. That's just the way he is. He doesn't know any better. All right, so they didn't get anything they needed critically. They traded equipment for equipment, which was a decent trade, and the food for food, which was kind of dumb, other than a couple of eggs a day long term. Okay, I can see that. I'm anxious to see what they do with the truck. I want to see what they're going to do with this truck too, even though I know what they're going to do. See, I'm not going ahead of you guys. I've watched this. I've watched the whole season 1 and 2 probably 8 times, but I'm forcing myself to just stay on track and on target with you guys every week, because I'm watching and then rewatching. I'm seeing a lot of things that I didn't see the previous 6 or 7 times I watched it. So I'm anxious to see what they're gonna do about the truck too. Even though I kind of have an idea what they're gonna do. I know if it were me, okay, that's a good question. What would you guys do with the truck right now? Because obviously, getting out of there is important. And if you listen closely in this episode, they said that later on they were going to be given instructions and whereabouts of another location, a bug out location. Did y'all catch that? So if it's me, I'm going to fortify that truck. I'm going to put a floor in the back. I'm going to figure out a way where we can take the gasifier and run the truck off the gasifier. I'm going to put some walls up on that truck. I'm going to put some holes in it so we can defend as we're leaving. And we're going to stockpile it with the food and the water that we got. That's what I'm going to do. Way to control someone like Mike is to stroke his ego. Yes. They don't get that. They want to keep butting heads with him, but it would be better if they acted like he was great. I mean, they would. You notice the times that he does things and he gets all the praise. That dude is the happiest person on the planet. They need to work as a group, not different people wanting things done their way. I agree. A few of the biggest problems at this point is ego. You have a few people with huge egos and fragile egos, and they keep causing problems because of it. Can't work together until they put ego aside. Okay, good point, Tara. I think George would step up and manage ego since he's the he's the one that was at dinner. He's like, we had some good things today and we had some not so good things today, and we need to respect each other and blah 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 blah. And that's when the blow up with Leilani and Mike happened. So good point, Tara. Great point. Love this episode. I learned that this group needs someone with management skills to assign them to a routine to follow. Truck needs to become a rolling home fortress. I agree with you, Paul. And I'm glad you learned something from this episode. I learned something from every episode. Some to-dos and some not to-dos, And I believe that in a situation like this, I believe that kindness and courtesy is going to go much further than it does now. And I think that's why everybody loves and really likes George, because George is so calm. He's so calm with his demeanor. He's a great orator. He's a great communicator. And that's something we didn't vote on this week. Who is our MVP of this episode? All right, who is our MVP of this episode? Did they even check to see if there was gas in the vehicles around? Yeah, they did that on like day 1 and 2. That's why they came up with the gasifier idea. And if you remember John V, the older guy, the engineer, he even said that in episode 1 or 2. He's like, we've checked all these cars around here, and I know that fuel is limited, and that's why I want to make the gasifier. So yeah, they've checked the vehicles. As a matter of fact, when they started up the pressure washer, remember when they got the gasifier working, they said that Mike used the last bit of their precious gasoline to start the pressure washer, and when they hook up the gasifier to it, if the pressure washer kept running, then they knew that the gasifier was working. So yeah, they've checked all the cars around the factory. Yeah, they've done that, Night Collector. They had that car that flipped and took the alternator from it. Yep, they did that. Mike would eat it up if the ladies complimented him. Oh yeah, he would be in hoghead if the I mean, getting compliments from the guys is one thing, but if the ladies will start to compliment Mike, but see, they're not gonna do that because these are all strong women. Now you might get that. He might get that from Amy. I think she's a little more passive. He's probably gonna get that from Allison, but from Leilani and Morgan, he's not getting that crap from them because they're gonna be like, whatever, Mike, you're doing your job. So, what was the last question I asked you guys a while ago? I can't remember now. Okay, Joey stepped up. Let me see if it's over here yet. Nope, it's not over here yet. So, Joy for stepping up as security head. I think he didn't succeed in reining Mike in doing the trading, but honestly, nobody stood up out as doing a great job this episode. Yeah, I feel the same way. I didn't really have a MVP in this episode. If I had to choose an MVP, Oh gosh, let me see here. You got Joey because he stepped up. You got Mike because he finally figured out the truck. John John C made the weapons. Vlad finished the claymore. Um, it's hard to say in this episode. I don't think this episode had an MVP. The level-headed people remained silent when they should have. Yeah, I agree. The level-headed people should have been speaking up, like George and Amy and Allison. They should have been like, "No, Mike, we're not giving away all our oranges. No, no, no." But they let him go in there and take all the oranges and give them away. Or George for being so calm and trying to keep the peace. I like George. I really like George, and I hope you guys fall in love with George. I really hope so. So yeah, I don't have an MVP for this episode. Okay, so this is the question now. Even though you don't have an MVP, if you had to vote, if we had to vote MVP status right now, do you choose Joey for stepping up, John C for making weapons, Vlad for making weapons, or George for just trying to keep the group cohesive? Which one is your MVP? And now before you vote, I want you to think about who had the most lasting impression. That's what the MVP to me is, most valuable person in this episode. Who did something this episode that had the most lasting impression on the group for the group? Go. All right, so let me see here. We got one. Okay, so we're voting again. So MVP this episode, we got Joey, Vlad, John C, and George. Or how about Leilani? Leilani for building the gym. I forgot about that. All right. So we got Leilani for building the gym, Joy for stepping up for heading up security, Vlad for making weapons, John C for making weapons, George for being calm, Mike for getting the truck running. Okay. So cast your vote now. And Tara, I see your vote. You can change your vote if you want to. All right, so I got one vote. We got one vote for Joy from Tara. We got one vote for Joy from Paul. Paul said, "If I had to vote," that's the way I feel too. Yeah, if I had to vote right now. All right, so Mike actually got the truck running. Leilani built the gym. Okay, so long term, Mike building a truck, that could be important. Leilani building a gym long term, that could be important. Joy doing security, that is important. Vlad, making weapons, that could be important. John C making weapons, that could be important. George keeping the group cohesive, that is important. So really, it boils down to Joey and George. And if I had to vote somebody right now, I'm going with Joey. Joey gets my vote. All right, so we got one for George. Night Collector says George. Let me see here. All right, so we got one for Joey. We got two for Joey. Got one for George. I vote Joey, so that's three. And I can't wait for Leilani. I can't vote for Leilani because of the way she exploded at Mike. I was thinking of her because of the gym and training, but the way she basically threatened Mike destroyed any good karma she had. I think she just got to her. I think she got to her wits end. I think she got fed up. And you being a female, Tara, because you notice Mike really doesn't have any blow-ups with men, but you being a female from a female's point of view, do you think you would take the crap that Mike dishes out as much as he dishes us out to the women? Oh, you know what? Somebody else we didn't really see any in this episode was what's my machinist guy? What is his name? John V. Where was he at this episode? He was like missing in action. He didn't do much of nothing. I mean, he helped Mike with the truck, but he didn't have. See, it's so crazy to me because every episode, Mike is always, and I think he's always going to be one of the key people of the group. Okay, Mike, Joey, Vladimir, And well, from this point in 4 episodes, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but Mike has done something in every episode that was like, golly, without this guy, we wouldn't have gotten this done. Without this guy, we wouldn't have got that done. Without, and every episode he comes through with something, and it's like, dang, like him, love him, or hate him. Every episode, this guy comes through. Do y'all agree with that? All right. So the Homestead Hopeful says, I don't believe I would get as much crap from Mike because I would be a lot more useful than most of the women, and I not confront him unless it was a critical issue. Okay, that's a good point. He only singles out women when they confront him. Otherwise, he just talks about women in general, which I would just laugh at. Okay, great point. All right, so Paul says Mike is a bit of a verbal abuser toward women. He never steps to a man. Women have to be assertive with men like that. I agree. Totally agree. All right, guys. So that's about all I had. Did y'all have anything else that you wanted to talk about? Did anybody know what the dates were on this episode? Does anybody know what the dates were? I'm sorry, not dates, but days. I know we got the date 18, but I'm not sure what the period of time was. So if anybody goes back and watch it, would y'all really watch that and let me know? And we've been on almost an hour and a half, so I appreciate you guys so much. I enjoy these talks every Saturday. I really thoroughly enjoy these. Oh my God, this is such a blessing for me. All right, let me see here. Tara says, I don't believe being assertive to Mike would. The chat is so slow over here in this program I'm using. I don't believe being assertive to Mike would make him more angry. I think the best way to handle him would be to stroke his ego, ask for his help, make him feel more manly. Yeah, I think that's the way to handle him. Women threaten his masculinity. That's cool. All right, guys. As always, if you are here for the first time and you have been blessed, helped, benefited from this chat and talk in any way, form, or fashion, please hit the subscribe button and help us grow. We're trying to get to 1,000 as far as soon as possible. August 11, 2009. Yeah, I'm sorry, Paul. I meant day, like what day they're on. I apologize. That I wasn't clear about that. I'm trying to figure out with episode 4 what days these constitute in the episode. So, for example, episode 1 was day 1 through 4. And then day 4 through looks like day 10. Day 1 through 4, and then episode 2 was day 4 through 8. Episode 3, that's when I start getting a little fuzzy on the days as far as how long they've been in the experiment. So if anybody goes back and you watch it, or if you know it now, let me know, please. Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention today. Go ahead, Tara, mention it. I thought Leilani made things with Mike much worse because she implied he was stupid. Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. She definitely didn't make a friend because the guy already feels inferior with people who have education. I think she made it. I think she made that situation with him a lot worse than it could have been. And I think she lost her cool. And you're right. Up until this episode, she was one of the people that if we had to toss a name in a hat to be leader of the group, up until this episode, she would have been one of my choices. After this episode, no, because she's a hothead just as much as Mike is. So I agree with that point. All right, so Paul said, got it. I'll make it my homework. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. She missed a chance to stroke his ego and to make a friend. And remember, so much easier to make friends than it is to repair a friendship. Okay? Just remember that, y'all. All right, thank y'all as usual. I appreciate you for being here. The one thing to take away from this is not what they need to do, but what they need to do, what we need to do in our preps and plans. Thank you, Night Collector. And that is the whole point of what why we even started doing this. And I don't know if you guys remember, but remember 5 weeks ago, we came in. No, it's been 6 weeks ago now. 6 weeks ago, we came in and we had this discussion on Saturday morning about prepping. And then the following Saturday, we did vehicle preps. And I was like, you know what? This is not sustainable, just pulling the topic out of the air. So that's when we came up with, hey, let's start watching The Colony, because I knew that by watching this, we would be able to take a lot from it, or at least I was hoping. I knew I would, and I was hoping you guys would too. So thank you for saying that, Night Collector. She could have said, Mike, you're way smarter than this. You know, we can't give away this much vitamin C for so little. She could have said that. She could have. But she decided to go the other route and call him dumb and call him stupid. And exactly, this is seriously making me think about what I would do in a similar situation, how to handle people. Yeah, and that's what this is all about. We have got to learn from it. Remember, they did this experiment. We have got to learn before something happens. And it all boils down to, she said Jericho is next week. All right, so once this is what I'm planning. Once we get out of season 1, okay, and I think it's 10 episodes. Once we get out of season 1, we're gonna take a week, maybe 2, and we're gonna watch American Blackout. Now I don't know if it's still on YouTube, because I tried to find it this week and I couldn't find it. But I really want us to do American Blackout next, and then once we do oh, you want to do? We're gonna take a break, maybe 1 or 2 weeks, and we're gonna do American Blackout, and then we're gonna go back to The Colony. I just read your message where you said after we get finished with The Colony. So we're gonna go through all of The Colony season 1. Then we're gonna take the following week or maybe 2. We're gonna watch American Blackout. Okay, if we can find it, if it's on YouTube. And I want to really take that and dissect that movie. I want to take maybe 2 weeks on that one. We'll do two Saturdays where we talk about American Blackout, and then we'll come back to Colony season 2. You guys are going to absolutely love season 2, because season 2 is similar, but it's totally different. It is totally, the producers and editors learned a lot from season 1. And in season 2, I think they made season 2 much harsher on the volunteers. I think that season 1 to me is like a piece of cake for the colonists. Season 2, ooh, and I love Jericho, so that's definitely going to be one that we get to, Tara. But I was really thinking about doing 1 second after and just doing a chapter a week on 1 second after. So you know what? Maybe I don't want to really put it up to a vote, because we got people who have seen things and who have not seen things. So if y'all let me make that decision, I'd appreciate that. Okay, as far as what we're going to go after The Colony. But I would duly noted about Jericho. I love that series too. As a matter of fact, I started rewatching that about 2 weeks before we started The Colony. I started rewatching that on my own, and I stopped because of The Colony. But yeah, I love Jericho. It's still on YouTube, both years. Okay, good. I just couldn't find it this week, so I'll do some more research on it. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. There's a scene in 1 Year After that made me cry regarding Jennifer. Now, are we talking about the one where you're talking about Jennifer, the daughter, where she dies? I mean, we'll put it out there. Yeah, she dies. And is that the same? Because I don't know if I did 1 second after or 1 year after, because they end up having to. I think they end up having to put the dog down. Is this the same one where they put the dog down and they gave it to the neighbors, and then Jennifer got sick and they couldn't get her meds or whatever, and she ended up dying? It's the book after one. So, okay, I can't remember now which one it was that I did. I don't know if it was 1 second after or 1 year after. I think I did 1 second after. So anyway, yeah, that book had me crying. I mean, I was boo-hooing. I was literally crying. Yes, but I don't want guys do not. Well, if you got time, you can do it. But I really want you guys to do your homework this week. So we're going to be on The Colony season 1, episode 5. Episode 5. So what I would like to do. those of you who have not communicated with me, let me ask the group this: is it helpful when I send out the emails to you guys? Because the last thing I want to do is be a burden, a nuisance, and a bother to you. Is it helpful that I send the emails out to you guys to remind you about the lives that we're doing? I don't do it for all of them. I really do it for this one. I do it for the Monday nights. Is that helpful? And if so, if you want to get that email notification, I need you to email me at plantbasedhomesteadprepper@gmail.com so that I can get your email, and then I will notify you. And I really only do it on the Monday night live and on the Saturday live. For all the other ones, I don't really send out a email, or at least I try not to. So is that helpful to you guys when I do that? I'm okay with the emails you want to send. Okay, any emails. All right, cool. I appreciate that. Did you ever get my promo? No, ma'am, I did not get a promo video. That's why you haven't seen any of my videos. I did not receive a. But you know what? I'm going to have to come up with a different email system because with this email I'm using, I'm getting so many emails from YouTube. Some of you guys' stuff is getting maybe getting lost. I don't want I don't want everybody. I don't want anybody to ever feel like their emails are insignificant. But some things may be getting lost. So resend it to me, Tara, please. And don't be surprised if I come up with another email this week that's totally separate, just to communicate with you guys, the home-based plant-based homestead prepper family. And if you have an idea about that, email me so I can just, because I'll always try to get you guys' input because we're growing together as a family. Let's see here. I have an alert from YouTube that lets me know. Okay, cool. Cool, Paul. It was slightly too large for Gmail attachment. I think I'll try putting in a Dropbox and send you the link. Please do. Yeah, please do. Because I definitely want to promote your channel because you are so eloquent. And you have so much insight, and I loved your French fry video. I was like, Tara did a French fry video, but I loved it. Loved it. It was awesome. It was. I'm not even stroking your ego right there. It was awesome. I love all your stuff though. I'm like your biggest fan. I have a look. Okay, cool. It was slightly too large. All right, cool. Look like we've done all the chats. I can never thank you guys enough, ever, never. Before we leave, would you guys like to know where we are as far as the channel is concerned? We'll do that another time. And I don't know, you guys know that we normally do the 505 show with Jennifer today. We have an event that we're doing. We have a huge gala that we're going to tonight. So we'll probably come in live and show you guys what we have on. Y'all are gonna be impressed. Jennifer's gonna be gorgeous. I mean, she's beautiful anyway, but she's gonna be absolutely stunning tonight. I've previewed what she's gonna have on and the way she's gonna do her makeup. She is gonna be absolutely so flipping stunning. Let me see. I think every prepper channel has done a French fry video lately. I'm pretty sure. I am so sure. And Grim did. He was the first one to do one in our little group, and as soon as I saw it, I went on his channel. I was like, I knew you beat me to the French fry video, and he did. I knew he would do it. I knew he would do it earlier because he's really in the know when it comes to this food stuff. So you guys make sure you go check out Homestead Hopeful Tara's channel. Who else we got on? Paul, I'm not sure if you have a channel or not, sir. Of course, Knife Collector. Thank you for so much. Nothing against anybody else, but Knife Collector truly is this channel's biggest supporter. Knife Collector, let me tell you guys about this guy, how much he loves our channel, and how much he does for us. This guy will sit and put his computer, I don't know if you're using a computer or his device, on play, and he will literally play all of our videos. Knife Collector, thank you so much for doing that, because by you doing that, and by and of course all you guys being here, I just want to give you got to give people their flowers while they're alive. I appreciate you for doing that, because I noticed a huge difference when you were doing that, and now that it's not happening. And we have some other people that come in, they'll binge watch stuff. So it's all good. So the Weathering Nurse says, "Good morning, showing love and support. We appreciate that. Thank you so much." Paul, watch Grim videos about his teeth. Yeah, it was real good. It was that video was eye opening. And I texted him. I was like, "Man, I never even noticed your teeth." You know, I'm that kind of stuff. Don't bother me. But yeah, that was a very good video. So thank you guys for supporting us. Thank you for supporting our two partners or our two buddies. I like to say two partners because TubeBuddy is an app I use. Hey, Tara, do you have TubeBuddy? And if not, would you sign up underneath my affiliate link? That way, if you ever decide you're going to upgrade, I'll make a couple dollars. I appreciate that. And anybody else that's watching that would like an add-on that would help you grow your YouTube channel. Also, guys, remember I have that gas app that I'm getting back a ton of money on. I get like maybe 17, 18 cents a gallon. So if you're interested in doing that and getting that, please make sure you sign up for that as well. It's in most of the descriptions. So thank y'all so much. We are out of here, and as far as I know, season 1, episode 4 is officially closed. See you guys on the next one.